Hey there, welcome back everybody. We've learned about the pattern for place value and where it starts to the left of the decimal point. We've learned about where all the whole numbers are, where all fractions, decimal places, percentages are. We've learned that between 0 and 1, all fractions, all decimal place values, all percentages, all parts of wholes are found between 0 and 1. Well, now it's time to start applying the knowledge that we've learned. All right. Let's take a look at a couple problems here. We're going to use place values to make sure that we get the correct answer, or at least set the problem up correctly. If I want to add the following numbers together, let's say 33 and 1700ths, and to that I want to add, 147 and 1900ths. What we need to do, and you can certainly do this by turning a piece of lined paper sideways, just rotate it 90 degrees. We're going to use the line it up strategy. And in using the line it up strategy, we need to make sure that we have all the place values in the correct places. So we want to be adding hundredths with hundredths, tenths with tenths, ones with ones, tens with tens, hundreds with hundreds, and so on. So in order to do that, I'm going to go ahead and make our decimal points blue so they kind of stand out for you. And then, when I line up the problem, I'm going to go ahead and write down my decimal points first on the same line. I'm going to rewrite 33 and 1700ths, and it will be 33 and 1700ths. And to that, I'm going to add 147 and 1900ths. Okay? 147 and 1900ths. As long as I put the decimal points down first, all the rest of the place values will be automatically lined up. This is the beautiful thing about using the decimal points and place values on the line it up strategy. So we can certainly easily add these and hopefully more accurately add these two numbers together. A common mistake that a lot of students will make is the following. Instead of using the line it up strategy, and instead of putting the decimal points down first, some students might be tempted to do the following. Rewrite 33 and 1700ths, and then write 147 and 1900ths. You can see that the decimal points are not lined up, therefore we're not going to be adding ones with ones, tens with the tens, and this is the only hundreds, nor will we be adding hundredths with hundredths, or tenths with tenths. Another thing that we can do to practice, now that we've learned a lot of the rules behind place value, is to think about when we're multiplying. If we're multiplying a whole number, let's say 82, if we're going to multiply a whole number times a number that just has decimal place values represented, let's say 42 hundredths, we need to remember what we've learned about that 42 hundredths. 42 hundredths is less than one whole. The whole numbers start to the left of Andy. That's where the ones place starts. So that makes 42 hundredths a piece. It's part. That means it's a fraction. It also means that it is a percentage. Just going to put percent for now. So if we look at our problem, that means we want to find part of this whole number, which is 82. So if we want to find part of 82, we're looking for a number that is less than 82. So that means if we have 82, just to double check here, we're going to find part of 82. We're going to find 42 hundredths of it. So it's just a little bit less than half. I'm going to use a line it up strategy. In this case, I don't have to worry about, if I'm multiplying, I don't have to worry about lining up any decimal places, or decimal points for that matter, but I do want to make sure that I have these nice, neat, and orderly. I'm going to use a standard algorithm for multiplication, And I'm going to first of all take 2/100ths times 2. 2 times 2, the basic fact is 4. And now I'm going to take 2/100ths times 80. The basic fact of 2 times 8 is 16. I'm done multiplying with the 2. I'm going to change it into a 0 because now I'm going to be multiplying by 4/10. In this case, I could actually call it 40/100ths, and anytime I multiply any number times a multiple of 10, I'm always going to have a 0 in the ones place. So that's why I'm going to put a 0 in this place value for now. I'm going to continue on with my standard algorithm. I'm going to multiply this 4/10 times 2 wholes, and the basic fact of 4 times 2 is 8. I'm going to move on to 4/10. Let's do this one in gray here. Move on to 4/10 times 80 wholes. The basic fact of 4 times 8 is 32. I'm going to rewrite my 8 here in black. I was saying 4 times 8, the basic fact is 32. Move that down this way. I'm going to add my partial products. And remember, I'm finding part of 82. So I'm going to add these together. And I've got 4. And then the basic fact of 8 plus 6 is 14. Basic fact of 2 plus 1 plus 1 is 4. And then 3 plus nothing, basic fact, is 3. Now, here's what people need to understand. I have several different options where I can put a decimal point. If I put my decimal point here, that would make this 3,444. But remember, I just want to find part of 82. And wherever I come from, 3,444 is not part of 82. Again, I can put my decimal point here, and then that would make this number 344 and 4/10. And that's certainly not part of 82. It's not a piece of 82. It's not a percentage. It's not a fraction of 82. I have a couple more options where it would still make sense. If I put my decimal point there, that would make this 34 and 44/100ths. Now, this is certainly part of 82. So, if I stop and think about this, I still have a couple more spots where I can put that decimal point. I could certainly put it right here. That would make my number 3 and 444 thousandths, which is part of 82. However, it's not a big enough part or piece or fraction or decimal of 82. I could put it right here, which would make it less than 1 whole. But if we go back to the original problem of 82 times 42/100ths, we have to keep in mind that 42/100ths is close to half. The decimal for 1/2 is 0.5 or 5/10. And if I'm looking for a number that's close to half of 82 by taking part, that's quite a big part of 82, then my decimal point has to go between the first couple of 4s, I guess we would say. That would make this 4 the 1's place, this 3 the 10's place, this next 4 in the 10th place, and then finally the 100ths place for the last 4. That would certainly help us out in understanding that we're finding part of 82, almost half of it. Hey, as always, thank you so much for watching, and if you have any ideas for any math episodes, please contact me at eambler@muncie.k12.in.us.